Food is something so many people love. Who wouldn't want to try a churro that is a deep-fried donut covered in sugar? I know if I were to travel to a different country, I would want to know what kind of food I would be eating and when I would get to eat it. Today I'm going to teach you about the 4 main dining meals in Spain and what they are like. First, let's start the day off with breakfast. Breakfast is also called el desayuno, and it is the least common meal of the day. According to the Spanish Meals and Custom article, I read that Spaniards drink a lot of coffee in the morning, also known as café, because it is full of caffeine. On the weekends and holidays, Spaniards eat different foods than they do throughout the weekdays. On the weekdays, they just grab a cup of coffee out the door to go. But Spanish Meals article said that Spaniards go downtown to a booth to get a churro or something to eat that is small and they can eat with their families. After breakfast, most of us get hungry, so we like to have something little to tide us over until lunch. Spaniards drink extra coffee because it is full of caffeine and will give them something to set in their stomachs until they actually get to eat lunch, which is between 2 to 4 p.m. Lunch is very important in Spain. Lunch is called la comida, and it is the meal that Spaniards are sure to eat. I thought it was really interesting in the article about Spanish meals that something was mentioned about the Spaniards got to take time off of work to go home and eat big dinners with their families called siesta, which is between 2 to 4 p.m. And for lunch, Spanish Meals said that Spaniards almost always have some kind of bread, a dessert, and a drink, which is a really good deal. In a book I found on Google Scholar called Food Culture in Spain, it said that every family eats differently depending on their income. The lower class families do not get to eat as good of meat. They eat lots of fruits and vegetables because they are cheap. But the higher class families get to eat expensive meat and get to have big dinners more frequently. I know when I get home from school, I would like to have a little snack to tide me over until dinner. Spaniards have a late afternoon snack called La Merienda because they don't get to eat dinner until real late at night. As I was reading Spanish Meals, I was surprised at how late the Spaniards actually got to eat dinner. When I get home from school or work, I like to eat snacks that are small, such as popcorn or an apple or something that's in the pantry to tide my stomach over till dinner. And Spaniards eat similar things. Sometimes Spaniards don't necessarily get to eat an afternoon snack because they'll have a cup of coffee instead, according to Spanish Meals. I have learned throughout reading the Food Culture in Spain book and the Spanish Meals article that Spaniards love coffee and caffeine. Finally, after the Spaniards have their late afternoon snack, they get to have dinner late at night. According to Spanish Meals, Spaniards don't usually go eat dinner at restaurants until about 8 o'clock p.m., which is really early for them. In the book Food Culture in Spain, a dinner dish called lamb and membrillo, or quince stew, was something that Andalusia Spaniards ate in the eastern part of Spain. Lamb, which is in the lamb and membrillo stew, is a luxury due to the family income. I would not consider lamb a luxury meat because it is not very good. I have tried lamb at Outback Steakhouse before, and the lamb chops, and they're disgusting. I hope you have learned a little about the 4 main Spanish dining meals. First, I discussed how breakfast was not important in the morning hours in Spain, but lunch is the most important meal of the day. I am jealous that Spaniards get to eat or get to go home at lunchtime to have a big dinner with their families from 2 to 4 p.m. because Americans don't get to do that. But Americans and Spaniards do both get to have afternoon snacks. But Americans also get to eat dinner earlier than Spaniards. Spaniards don't eat really late at night around usually 11 o'clock. Americans usually eat dinner between 6 and 7 p.m., which is pretty early. I never eat dinner past 7 o'clock at night because I don't like the food to settle my stomach. It is actually healthier the earlier you eat, the more time your food has to digest, which will make you feel a lot better. Now, just because Spain has crazy dinner times doesn't mean I would never want to go there. If I ever had the chance to visit Spain, the first thing I would do is try a churro. That is a crispy donut that is covered in sugar, because it sounds amazing.